Hi, Kevin McDonald here, and today I'm interviewing somebody who's been doing some great stuff in property. So Lydia Talia. So hi, Lydia.
Hi, Kev, you right?
Oh, good, thank you. So for anyone listening in, Lydia started in property not so long ago, and she's doing some really great stuff in property. So what I want to do today is to dig a little bit deeper on what she's up to, how she's got into property, a bit about her journey. So Lydia, just for anybody listening in, do you want to share a little bit about what you did in your sort of day job, or still doing your day job, before you got into property? So what was life like for you before you decided, I want to get started in property?
Yeah, sure. So before I decided to start in property, I was sort of in some way linked to a property in one way or another. So I worked for the estate agent. So I used to sell houses, rent houses. So like in some way, my career has always been linked to a property, but obviously I've not been doing it on my own and independently. So I worked for the kind of different estate agents, and then I decided that I want to do something that work for a company that's got great values, great ethics, and great cause. And I've joined a housing association, like one of the biggest in Southwest. And I've been working for them since 2010, so in different roles. So I've done a bit of everything. I worked for in lettings, housing management. I managed a team of housing officers. I worked in connection with development, operations, and I worked in IT and project management now. So in one way or another, my career has always been linked to property.
Oh, okay, cool. So, and then when you were, a lot of people that I meet when they looking to get started in property, one of their big fears is going to speak to an estate agent or going to speak to a letting agent, because they feel that as an estate agent or a letting agent, they know so much about property investment. So when you were an estate agent and a letting agent, did you actually understand investing in property, or did you just like focus on, what was the day-to-day job? What did it focus on?
Yeah, absolutely not. I understand nothing about investments. I wouldn't be able to analyze the deal. Like literally, I could not tell which property was a great investment property. Like basically, for me at the time, it was all about selling, 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 and getting my commissions. So it was very competitive industry, obviously, and it's all been very. I was one of the only girls in the office, so it was really hard. But it's given me like a good training to survive in like a hard environment, I suppose. And yeah, so absolutely no clue. And in terms of like doing viewings as an estate agent at the time, it was just literally, here's the kitchen, here is this, here's that. Like at the time, I didn't have an idea of to give my customers to say, you can remove that wall, you can extend, this is how you can add value to the property. It was all basically me selling to more homeowners rather than investors. And investors came in, yeah, I could tell that not just myself, but other agents there, they didn't really have a great understanding of different investment strategies, of what's really a great asset from the investment point of view. Yeah.
Now, it's really important that we touch on this, because a lot of people listening would be new to property and they'd be thinking, oh, these estate agents and letting agents know so much. I'm scared about how I approach them. Will I look like I don't know my stuff? So you just sharing that actually you know how to sell a house, but not necessarily invest in property. And a lot of estate agents come to us to learn how to be investors, because most don't buy. So for people that are listening in, should they be fearful of speaking to an estate agent? Should they just have the confidence to go there and speak to them?
Absolutely not. Like, what's there to be scared of? Because at the end of the day, they're all humans, they're all people, they all got obviously they've got their day job, but then they come home and they watch the same movies and they eat the same pizza. They're just like people like you and I. And it's all about building relationship, and it's all making them feel comfortable around you, because when you're not comfortable and you're nervous and you're scared, they can feel it and they just feel like, oh, that's something iffy is going on. Just be yourself, and yeah, just be natural. And real people is just like talking to somebody in a supermarket or talking to your friend, just telling them what you want. Yeah.
So you worked in like agencies and stuff, and then you work for in the current role, but you're still involved around property. What made you then decide, do you know what, I've been in the property industry but not actually investing for myself? What made you take that leap of saying, do you know what, I want to start to build my own portfolio? How did that all come about? What was the mindset shift?
Yeah, well, it was like actually, like to be truthful to you, it was completely unrelated to my job. So it was basically down to like personal circumstances because obviously I'm not from the UK, and when we came to live to the UK, I found the quality of housing that we were renting for people extremely poor and like quite substandard. So the houses that we lived in, the flats were full of mold, like falling apart, like boilers are not serviced. Like I had to throw away my furniture every year, and I just could not find a good affordable property that we could rent. And then one year, there was a 5-year period when we were renting this flat that didn't have any hot water for 5 years, and the landlord he just wouldn't fix it. So we were like boiling the kettle to like wash hair and all these kind of things, like washing dishes with cold water. And then we came to, because we wanted to save for our first deposit, because we knew that you need to save and then you buy, and then we were obviously like didn't want to pay more for something more up to a standard because we needed to save the deposit, and then it just got too much. And then so we basically, this was our main push. So we then bought our first property, which wasn't great. It wasn't a great investment. It was quite poor standard again because we realized that it was full of dump again, and we were fighting with a management company, and then unexpected bills for service charges start coming in and for external works. And then we decided that we need to move to a bigger place and we need a house because we didn't want to manage this relationship with the management company. And this is how it started because we didn't have enough deposit for a house. So we thought, hey, what can we do? So we watched a couple of episodes of Homes on the Hammer at the time. And we thought, oh, that could be something that maybe we can pull off. So, and I said to Alex, my other half, so why don't we find a property, flip it, and that would be our deposit money to buy a house, so we can exit this horrendous relationship with that management company and sell this property and then move into something else. So this is how it started, and we've identified our first investment property that we wanted to purchase by doing kind of a lot of research around the area and what demand was there. And yeah, we've looked at. So I've narrowed it down to having like to wanting to buy a 2-bedroom bungalow because I've identified that at the time it was kind of more affordable for like a wider range of customers, and also it doesn't require so much work at the house. So this was our first flip, and yeah, we've made some money, and then we realized, wow, that could work, and yeah, so that was our sort of starting point, and then we start like. Yeah, and then we just like rinse and repeat. Yeah.
And so, when did you initially come to Progressive? How long ago was that?
We came to Progressive about 18 months ago. Yes.
Okay. And you started in property before you came? Was that flip before you came to Progressive or after?
The flip was before we came to Progressive, using our own money. But then we realized that actually we know nothing about property because the more I start researching how we can make money in property, the more I realized my limitations around what I actually understood the property world is and the wise way of investing in property. And I knew there's ways to do it and not having to wait to like get your money out of the property, then invest your deposit again, because that would have taken us dozens of years to actually achieve what we wanted to achieve. So then we obviously came across Progressive, and then things have changed for us. Yeah.
So, I mean, I started in property before training as well, and I made mistakes. It sounds like you started, but you made some money, but actually it was taking too long, I guess. So, the fact you had already got going, what were the sort of main benefits, I guess, for looking to get educated? Was around trying to get the money out quicker, move faster. Then when you came and you did the training, did you get the help you needed? Did you learn more than you expected, or did you sort of like get what you were looking for?
Yeah, I think I came with the expectations to understand sort of different property strategies and how to sort of make our money go further. But what I actually came out with was, yes, definitely a lot more than I've anticipated, because I was trying to sort of find out how I can stretch the that we've had to maybe invest in more properties or use like different ways of generating income. And when I came to Progressive, I actually realized that we actually don't need our own money to purchase properties and to succeed in property. And that was a real like revelation for us, because I was like, wow, like we should have done it like sooner, because we would have been where we are like a lot quicker. And also, like, we've learned a lot about joint ventures and raising private finance and like different no money down strategies that we didn't even know exist at the time. So we just literally absorbed the learning that we could. We've made so many connections with different individuals who helped us along the journey. So yeah, it's been great for us. Absolutely.
And you mentioned quite a few little different things there, like different creative ways to do property. So what have you done? So it's 18 months since you came to Progressive. So what have you been up to for the past 18 months? What sort of projects are you working on? And yeah, just give us a little bit of detail on the stuff you're working on.
Yes, sure. So I'm going to have to confess, we haven't like really kicked off from like, from the day that we joined Progressive. It was all about sort of learning and understanding where we are. And naturally, I'm a bit shy person, so I need to get to know the people to then like be really comfortable speaking to them. So I think like one of the benefits for me was to like actually come out of my comfort zone and be able to like build those networks and relationship and actually be confident about raising finance. So we've made a decision that our first main focus will be on raising finance, because we realized that no money down was the way forward. But at the time, we didn't think the rent to rent was appropriate for us, because we wanted to own the asset. Because of where we invest, like the capital growth in the area is fantastic, and obviously the return on your investment is fabulous. So we didn't want to focus on too many things at the time. So we focus on raising finance, and we would use other people's money to purchase properties, refinance, and with them. We bought a couple of properties on auction. We've raised like last year, in the last 12 months, so 2020, since January 2020, between 6 investors, we've raised about £500,000. So yeah, we're very happy, and I would not have dreamed.
So hang on a second, Lydia. So you came to Progressive 18 months ago, and you just started that saying, well, to be honest, we haven't done very much, because at the start we didn't really do anything. But you bought 2 houses at auction. You've got 6 investors that have lent you over £500,000. I think you've done quite a lot in a short period of time. And for a lot of people, when they come, what they do is they actually chase the money straight away. They chase the deal in the first few weeks. But the first few weeks is exactly what you're talking about, is building the confidence, building the mindset and the belief and that you can achieve. And I always say to people, don't base your success on the keys of a house. Base your success on the amount that you're growing as a person, the knowledge you're growing, the connections you're growing, the confidence that you're growing. And so that first few weeks or months until you got your first house, that's the normal journey. You don't walk out of your first training and get the keys of a house within 2 days. Some people do, but most people don't. But to be 18 months down the line, have a couple of deals at auction, purchased, have 6 investors lending you funds, that's serious progress. And one of the other things a lot of people do is they underestimate what they've done, and they don't congratulate themselves enough on what you've done. So I want to take a moment to congratulate you on what you've done, because you've done a significant amount. And have you done any, you said you raised money from 6 investors. Have you done any joint ventures with investors as well?
Not with investors, but we we've got 6 investors on board at the moment. One of them is a SaaS investor, and what we're looking to do, because at the moment he's just funded one of our properties that we needed to exit the bridge and finance from when the lockdown hit. So he really came to save us. So like if you are listening there at some point, like we're massively grateful to you. So we're looking to do a joint venture with that investor using his SaaS port, and the other 5 finance investors that we're just using to purchase properties to put the deposit down, because it's different to like with the SaaS, you have to put the first charge in the property. So what we're looking to do is do a couple of deals with him to like something bigger, like house conversions, maybe little commercial conversion, but we're not there yet, like with the comfort level, but we'll get there by that point. Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone listening in as well, Lydia just touched on a SaaS pot. That's an SSAS, which is a pension where you take your pension and you convert it into what's called a SaaS, a small self-administered scheme. And what you can do with that, you can either buy property within the SaaS, you can do what's called a loan back to your limited company, or you could lend your SaaS pot to other investors who are looking to build a portfolio, which is exactly what this SaaS pot person has done. They've lent their pension pot to Lydia to buy property. So Lydia, the properties you bought at auction, what are you doing with those properties?
Oh, these already sold. So
okay, so what did you do with the properties?
Oh, so yeah, we just added value. So like one of them we reconfigured a 2-bedroom flat to like completely to create a 3-bed, and the other one was very similar. So these were purely done to flip it. But we have 4 properties that we purchased with investor finance since last year, in the last 12 months, keeping. So one of the recent successes that I've shared on Progressive was the property that we bought last year for 50,000, and obviously a year later we refinanced it for 540. So the refinance hasn't gone through yet, but we have our formal mortgage offer last week. So yeah, we're pulling out all of the deposit money plus 5k from that deal, and we've paid all the investors back apart from one who's leaving the money for another 12 months with us, so like on a rolling basis. So yeah,
so you've done a buy, refurbish, refinance. You've paid off, you've got all of the money out, paid back the investors, you've got $5,000 cash in your own pocket, and you've got 25% equity plus monthly cash flow.
Yeah, over £4,000. Yeah.
Okay, and you said that you're only in this 18 months and you've not done a lot at the start, but now you've just said that you've raised money from 6 investors, you've flipped 2 properties that you bought at auction, and you've got 4 other deals that you're buying with JV finance money. You're doing a lot of stuff in an 18-month period. So you're absolutely really, really inspiring for anybody listening in, Lydia. And it is about recognizing how much you're doing as well, because sometimes we expect too much of ourselves. You're doing loads. You're really, really great progress. How much did you make on the money on the properties you flipped at auction? Do you mind me asking roughly how much sort of profit from each one?
Like without having to go back to my spreadsheets, like I don't want to be like inaccurate, but like roughly between 50 and 60, like on each deal.
Okay, so pretty good. I mean, average salary in the UK is 27 grand. So if you've done 2 deals making 50 to 60k on each one, that's like 2 years average salary per deal. So it's almost 4 years income in a job. Really, really, really well done as well on that. What's next? So Lydia, what's next for you on the journey? Where do you see yourself going over the next sort of 12 months and then into sort of 3 to 5 years?
So currently, like the immediate next like 6 months is we've got 3 big projects that I'm saying big, they're not big for somebody. It's just like massive refurbs with extensions. And like we're in the Article 4 area, so it's getting through planning for HMO. It's a lot of learning for us because so we're doing those, and we realized that the team that we've been using before, obviously we can't, if we want to grow, we need to grow the team. So we're building the team at the moment to so the 3 are the immediate future, and then like I said, the JV with our SaaS investor. This is what we really, really keep to do because he's not just our investor, he's now become a friend, trusted person. We're really happy to work with him, and obviously onboarding more investors to work on different deals. I'm looking to do a little bit more on supported living side, where we would lease the property to a supported living provider, like on a long lease, because it's like completely hands off to you as well then, and also it's like good. It's like a giving back, so it's something that I really, really keen to do. So trying to find a suitable property that we would potentially lease either supported living provider, and we want to get involved in something big, like I said. So maybe a commercial conversion, but not like on a massive scale, not like 50 flats, something too easy to start with, and then like build up the experience and the portfolio so that we can go out to more investors and say, like, this is what we've done, on board if you like to. Yeah.
So when you came to Progressive and you did some of the trainings, which trainings did you do?
Honestly, I've only done the money down.
So the No Money Down, obviously, with myself. Yeah. Have you done anything else outside of No Money Down?
No, I haven't. I just feel there's so much content, like on the No Money Down. You've got your, you have a good understanding of the creative strategies, your lease options, your exchange with delayed completion, anything and everything. And I just feel like for us, it gave us a good foundation to when you get the deal, to see what's the best strategy for that deal, because like I don't like sticking to one thing. Like I'm not the one to say like I'm only doing rent to rent, or I'm only doing estates, because I think it's quite dangerous. Last year have shown that. So we like to spread our risks. So like you say, our main market strategy is marketing, because we get in the deals and then we decide which strategy we apply to that. And I think the no money down calls have given us the good understanding of which strategy can be applied, like with assisted sales and all the other things. Yeah.
Awesome. So if somebody said to you 18 months ago that you'd have achieved what you've achieved in the last 18 months, what would you have said to them?
I'd be like, are you kidding me? Like, I wouldn't even speak to people. Like, honestly, I was so scared. Like, on the mastermind table, like, I wouldn't speak to people, because I thought like I have nothing to say. Like, who am I to talk to them about property? Or like, I was just genuinely really shy and didn't believe in myself at all. And I think like over the last 18 months, like, the confidence level has grown, and like the people skills, the stakeholder management. I think it's not just like the knowledge of the nitty gritty of the property, but it's also like the overall growth with your mindset, with your adaptability, flexibility, resilience. Like it's all that, and obviously your network, like our network, growing massively.
For me, like I've watched you grow closely over the last, because you've done the no money down with me over the last 18 months, and you have grown in terms of the knowledge, the mindset, all the stuff you spoke about, which is awesome. And I can't wait to see, where you go over the coming years as well. Because you're already doing big things, but it's going to get even bigger and better for you. So I just want to say well done again for everything you've done. What would you say to anyone who's thinking about getting started in property? Can they do it? When should they get going? And what would you say to anyone who's sort of like listening and going, can I, should I, could I?
Okay, I would say absolutely you can, if you commit to it. But you need to believe in yourself first. Like if you don't believe in yourself, like nobody's going to believe in you. So you need to start building that confidence and with yourself, and believe that you can achieve anything. And then start now, because I see a lot of people like shifting the not the responsibility, but they started doing like things that don't really matter, like building their websites, doing their cars. Like, we've done what we've done without any business cards, without a website. I mean, we are building a website on the background, but it's not my priority at all, because our priority is getting the deals and building relationships with investors. So it's learning, it's building your network, it's speaking to the agents, getting comfortable around speaking to the agents. It's knowing what you want as well, and knowing that you can achieve it, and not being scared, because I think at the beginning I was a bit scared, thinking, oh my God, like this is what I want, but it's so massive. Like, how can I ever achieve it? But it's taking one step at a time, really, because like, yes, this goal is there, but like, let's see what I'm going to need to do tomorrow to just get one step closer. And yes, have the end goal in the back of your mind all the time. And then like reverse engineering your steps, like what you can actually do with the skills that you've got now, and who you need to get some help from, because we're not masters of all trades, and sometimes we rely on other people to assist us with expertise or professional opinion. So it's how you utilize other people to support you in your journey is very important. So get your network going and start doing, like, don't wait. Yeah.
And what would you say to anyone who's sitting listening thinking, oh, that's all great, but it was obviously easy for you because you worked in an agency first. So what would you say to somebody?
The agency, like at all, like millions of people working in the agencies, and they don't get to do what we get to do. So it's really down to like what they want to achieve, and not being scared at all, and not worried, because a lot of people get worried about things that haven't happened, and they say, oh, but if this happens, then like what if? And I'm like, well, this what if, it hasn't happened yet. When the problem arises, like you'll solve it then. But now, don't worry about it. Just take steps, take actions every day, and do things. And it's all about people at the end of the day. Start building those relationships. Yeah.
Awesome. Really appreciate you taking the time to come on, Lydia. Really inspiring what you've done over the last 18 months. And I'm sure it's going to massively help people who are looking to get started in property, to give them that sort of inspiration to get going. So thank you again for taking the time to join us. You've been listening to an interview with Lydia Talia, who started her Progressive 18 months ago. She's doing some amazing stuff in property. It's going to get bigger and better as time goes on. I hope you've enjoyed the interview. I've been Kevin McDonald. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you to Lydia.
Thank you.